Welcome to Safety with Bob. Today we're going to talk about fire prevention. Again, it's a very possible threat that we have in the demolition world. As we're working on our job sites, we could be cutting, we could be grinding. There's a couple different things that could be going on that could cause fire. So we want to talk about how we can prevent those fires. The first thing we need to talk about though is what causes a fire. So one of the things we want to talk about when it comes to fire prevention is the fire triangle. Again, the fire triangle is the components, the three components that are necessary in order for there to be a fire. And those three components include oxygen, fuel, and heat. And if you have all three of those together, then all of a sudden you've got a chemical reaction that causes a fire. So we want to keep those three things apart. What we want to do is, again, think about what we can control in our environment. Again, at times there's really no way that we're going to be able to control oxygen because it's naturally occurring in the atmosphere. And again, it's my opinion that it's sometimes hard to control the materials around you because you sometimes can't choose where you're working and what's in the environment. But we can control the combustible materials and what is in that area to help prevent the fires. So when we talk about combustible materials, we talk about the different classes of combustible materials. Class A being wood, plastics, any kind of combustible material has all three of the elements of the fire triangle there would catch on fire. Class B is liquids, right? Your oils, your gases, and so forth. So we want to, if we're working in a certain area, we want to make sure that those flammable materials, flammable liquids are not in your environment. C would be an electrical. Again, that's an electrical fire, which if, let's say a room was on fire and there was power going to that room or equipment hooked up, then that equipment would be a hazard. So again, we need to think about the electrical hazards when it comes to fire. And then of course there's always greases, the class K I believe it is. And those are normally in restaurants when we have a lot of grease traps and so forth. At home when we're fixing wings and we put wet wings into a pot of grease, it's going to cause a fire. And again, all of those require different fire extinguishers, which we'll talk about in another segment. But what our goal is in fire prevention is to keep those three things in the fire triangle separately. And the way to do that, or the best way to do that, is housekeeping. Again, evaluate the area where you're getting ready to do some hot work, cutting or grinding, and make sure that it is clean. Make sure that everything's picked up. Use fire blankets if possible. That kind of keeps the sparks and everything from spreading, going to different areas. So keeping the three parts of the triangle apart is going to prevent a fire. Thank you and have a good day.